Welcome to the Coach Toolbox. I'm your host, Dr. Ajay Nangalia, a leadership coach and counselor. This channel supports your professional and personal development as a leader with research-based and practice-focused learning. And we bring you the best career and life advice from guests who've been there and done that successfully. And now, our session today. Hi, welcome to part 2 in the series on health and wellness in 2021. So, one of the questions that we all grapple with when looking at losing weight is which is more effective, exercise or nutrition? Well, in theory, both approaches can support weight loss journey. And the answer between which is most effective, exercise or nutrition, is the one that you can stick to. You see, the essential formula to lose weight is that over a sustained period of time of a few months, the calorie intake must be less than your calorie expenditure. That is, you must expend more than you put in so that there is a net calorie deficit. And when there is a net calorie deficit, obviously you start losing weight. Now, research from exercise science clearly demonstrates that combining effects of exercise and reduced calorie intake can help us achieve our goals in much shorter period of time. Therefore, the combination of exercise and nutrition is more efficient for reaching weight loss goals. The important element in adding exercise component is that it helps reduce abdominal fat or visceral fat. And this is the most dangerous type of fat that there is, because what I mean by abdominal or visceral fat is the fat which is there around your tummy. If you squeeze your tummy and there's more than 1 inch of fat, then that's bad news, because what that means is that before the fat is being deposited there, it has already got deposited around your key organs, and therefore you are at high risk for liver damage, for kidney damage, for also for diabetes, because the key vital organs of our body are already have a fat covering, and now that they are covered with fat, the balanced fat is now coming under the skin. So visceral fat or abdominal fat is really, really dangerous. Now, proper nutrition, therefore, is associated with a reduced risk of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease or type 2 diabetes or obesity and even some cancers. Now, we are all looking for a magic diet. We are all looking for that one diet which if we can hold on to for just a little few days, a week, 2 weeks, then that's the one that will help us drop this weight dramatically and keep it off once and for all. Well, there is no such diet. It has to be minor changes in our lifestyle that can lead to weight loss and to much more healthy levels of wellness and fitness. So rather than tell you what to eat and what not to eat and then to prescribe a specific diet, I believe for long-term effectiveness, it's much more effective to incorporate some principles of healthy nutrition. So in no particular order, here are some principles that I think will really help you figure out something that really works for you, your lifestyle, your schedule. And the more you are able to do this, the better you will start moving towards fitness. So number 1, rather than follow a particular fat diet, the recommended guidelines suggest a healthy, well-balanced nutrition plan that includes a variety of vegetables, lots of salad, fruit, whole grains, very limited dairy, seafood, lean meat, legumes, beans, and peas. This should be in your diet. A good balance of all these things, especially salads and vegetables and whole grain. So when you have a balance of this, then you are on the way to healthy eating. Next principle is restrict alcohol consumption, because it only adds empty calories. So sure, you can have that drink or two over the weekend, but if you are drinking alcohol every night of the week, well, then that's empty calories. So choice is yours. Principle number 3, something that will really help us restrict empty calories again, is to stop all aerated, sweetened sodas and beverages, whatever your favorite drink is. And here's the kicker, even all these packaged fruit juices, which says very healthy, natural, etc., they are just sugar concentrates. So skip them. It's better to really eat one whole fruit rather than drink juice, and even better than drinking fruit juice, because when you eat the whole fruit, you get not only the natural nutrients, but you get the fiber from the whole fruit, which is not available in the fruit juice. And most times, to get you a glass of fruit juice, they put in 2 or 3 fruits, which anyway then really spikes your sugar. So that's not healthy. So one whole fruit is the way to go. Principle number 4 is to shift from white flour and white rice to whole grain flour, whole wheat bread as much as possible. Skip the rice, skip the white rice, and skip the white flour. Substitute whole wheat rotis instead of bread from a bakery, and use brown rice. In India, Rajamundi rice is extremely healthy, so use that as white rice instead of white rice as much as possible. Number 5. Replace all unhealthy snacks in your home and office with healthier options. Now, I'm a snack freak because I tend to eat when I'm stressed, and now working from home, I get up every so often to go and put something in the mouth as a munchie. So if you have all the fun things like biscuits and crackers and all the fried Indian stuff, well, your diet goes to hell. So instead of fried chips, use things like kurmura, puffed rice, or fresh roasted peanuts, or a fruit, or salad, cut salad. These are much better snack options. Remember, if it comes in a box or in a tin, if it's processed and you've got it from the store, it's best to avoid it. So packaged cereals, anything that comes in a package is full of fructose and loaded with sugar. So there's nothing much healthy about it. Breakfast cereals are really just sugar traps, and they have no health value other than aggressive advertising. And there's nothing like a healthy biscuit. If it's a biscuit that you're buying from a store, unless you're baking it yourself, it's just flour and sugar, and it's going to spike your calories like crazy. And it will spike your sugar. So unless you're baking yourself with whole grain and very limited sugar, all biscuits are sugar pellets. Now, the way to structure your meal is that your meal plate should have a quarter serving of vegetables, a quarter of fruit, a quarter of protein, and a quarter of whole grain. That's known as the plate, right? So as Indians, we need to dramatically reduce the amount of rice and the number of rotis that we eat. We really don't need so much carbs, because even if we are having dal and chana and other vegetables, all those also have inbuilt carbs. So we eat that, plus then you eat rotis and rice. We are really overloading on carbs. And instead of loading ourselves with so much carbs, substitute this with lots of salad and vegetables and whole grains in moderation rather than the processed grains. So the idea in good nutrition management is not to stay healthy ever, not to stay hungry ever, sorry. The goal is to stay healthy, not to stay hungry. That's on a diet, right, where you get these hunger pangs. But if you have a mix of salads and vegetables and peanuts or kurmura, you can snack, or you can not stay healthy and get nutrition and cut down on calories. So again, I said it should be not be hungry. You want to be healthy, not hungry. Principle number 8, dairy and milk products, are a matter of personal choice. However, the recommendation is to have low fat options and restrict the quantity. And as a principle, if you can start really dramatically reducing the amount of dairy or milk products and milk desserts that you have, I think you're on the right track, because these dairy products have been shown to increase the natural inflammation within the body. Number 9 is to shift to healthier cooking oil and avoid saturated fats foods with saturated fats such as cheese or pizza, fried foods, bacon, fried Indian snacks. All are really not healthy. Indian authors such as Rujita Devekar give plenty of sound recommendations in her books. So read and incorporate the ones that work for you. I think from all the people that I have read, she for Indians gives some of the best advice. So Rujita Devekar is check out her books and see if that works for you. And finally, reduce sugar as much as possible. If you can avoid it in your tea or coffee, do so. And then dramatically cut down on sweets and chocolates and cakes and desserts. Keep them as a small reward for once a week and not a daily binge. And I'm not saying eliminate it totally, but instead of having two rasgullas, have a quarter. Instead of eating one full bar of chocolate, have a small piece. So reduce as much as possible. The trick is to find the right nutrition balance for yourself. And it's a process that you need to work on and fine tune till you reach the point where you're not on a crash diet, but are losing weight at a healthy rate that can be sustained. It becomes part of your lifestyle. It's not a diet. And if you're thinking about, well, if I'm doing all this, how long will it take to lose weight? Well, the guideline is it should not be more than half a kilo a week. That's the ballpark. Some, depending on body chemistry, some will lose a bit more, some will lose a bit less. But at about half a kilo a week, it means that you are making changes in lifestyle and not doing something dramatic. And the kicker is that you'll be able to maintain these lifestyle changes rather than a crash diet which gives you dramatic results, but then you put that weight on, and all the initial weight loss that comes from these dramatic diets is typically water loss and really not fat loss. So focus on making lifestyle changes that work for you, and with just a little bit of planning, sensitivity and being conscious, you can do it. We can do it. Another major factor in making these nutrition changes as a part of your lifestyle is to get the support of your partner or family and close friends. They can be your best source of support or your biggest stumbling block. So if you have friends who are constantly binging, constantly partying, constantly snacking, those are the folks you now need to distance yourself from. Look at ways that will dramatically minimize the negative impact that their choices have on you. So at first it'll be a little bit hard, but then they'll slowly learn to respect your decision to not eat certain foods or not to have certain drinks or snacks or whatever. Even if you go out, there are healthier options that you can order, and that will be much better for you. Another major element in good nutrition management is to drink lots of plain water throughout the day. The amount which is suggested varies so widely that the best gauge is that you feel personally hydrated at a level that works for you. And of course, the best gauge is that your urine has to be of a light pale color. If it's darker, then you need to be more hydrated. And hydration is even more critical when you're exercising. So have small sips of water before, during, and after your workout. Drink at least as much as you sweat. And avoid the sports drinks unless you're training for special events such as marathon. Those again are just full of sugar and carbohydrate. And unless you're an athlete in special training, you really don't want to drink some of those stuffs. So these are some of the guidelines for you to keep in mind. It's not a diet chart. It's not a diet chart. Long-term success comes when you make informed choices each day, at each mealtime or at each snack time, and then arrive at a menu that works for you. Remember, the guiding formula when you're getting it right is that there will be a calorie deficit if you plan to lose weight. So track your weight on an ongoing basis. Perhaps not every day, but maybe once a week if that works for you. So take this coming week to review this information with your support system, your spouse or family member or friend or partner, and look at how you can make some changes in your lifestyle. Baby steps, that's all you're aiming for. And baby steps in terms of the changes that work for you. So, as I bring a conversation to a close today, here are some action plan questions that I'd like you to think about and answer for yourself, perhaps along with your partner or spouse. So, question number one, based on some of the guidelines presented above, what are some small changes that you can incorporate in your nutrition management immediately? Number two, with respect to nutrition, what are some things that you need to stop or dramatically reduce? Number three, with respect to nutrition, what are some things that you'd like to start doing or doing more of? Number four, what will help you track the impact and benefits of some of these changes? So take some time this week to really think about and write down your answers to these questions and have a conversation with your spouse or partner on it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in my own fitness journey, the most difficult thing is that fitness, if it's a lonely journey, if you're alone on it, it's so much more of a struggle. So we are putting together a group of like-minded people who will connect with each other once a week through WhatsApp messages and through Zoom conversations, and I'll facilitate that. And we're going to look at maybe starting in the first week of February and working together over the next 3 months so that we can all figure out ways to move towards fitness that in ways that work for us. So if you'd like to be part of this cohort of like-minded people, then email me so that I can email you some details and keep you posted in terms of when and how we are starting this journey. The goal of our group is not to give you specific diet plans or workout plans, though we will certainly help us figure something that we can work with, but we want to be able to empower each other to make regular physical activity and healthy nutrition a lifelong habit. Good luck. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please connect with us on coachtoolbox@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and review this channel. Details of our ICF-approved coach training programs and our services as executive coaches and coaching supervisors are on www.globalcoachtrust.org. See you in our next session.